Yes, 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 yes.
UNA.
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 Yeah. Halo. Halo. Yeah, yours truly, Steve LaRue, representing for UNA University. UNA Republic. Yeah. Halo. Halo. Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm yours truly, Diva Laree, representing for UNA Republic and University. Welcome. So glad to have you here. We are talking today about whose system is this? Whose system is this? We're going to get into it today. Whose system is this? Once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Laree, with UNA University and UNA Republic. Welcome. All right. This is our last day of the UNA University so we're going on break after this. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful fall season with my students. Wonderful stewardship, where this season we went into how to be good stewards of your money, because all my students, they got it coming. The millions, how to be good stewards. Now they know what to do with it when they get it. They're not going to just squander it. All right. So stewardship. And we also had nation formation, how to form your nation, how to fund your nation, how to get credit for your nation. We went through all of that in the UNA University. Once again, halo. All right, so had a wonderful season. We are at our last class today. So I'm gonna get into this because I got class tonight. But I want to make sure I invite you all to our winter season starting January the 15th. You are invited. We're going through the spiritual, we're going through the legal and how to stand in law as the sovereign and the God and the bank that you are. And we're going through how to stand, how to make sure you know what's going on. All right. We also are going to go through getting your nation set up, how to make sure you can get the credit that you need for your nation, how to make sure it's funded on the private side and funded on the public side. All right, we're going through that now. For those of y'all who want the membership package, all right, this comes with your trust. The membership package does. It also comes with your allodial ID with the QR code on the back. This enables you to get to your documents quickly whenever you need them. Also, this is an ID for you as well with UNA. Comes with your membership badge showing that you are a member of UNA. I'm gonna go through this real quick because I had a lot of students and clients and members that this came in handy when they were trying to force everyone into getting the jab. So having this, all they need to do is show this, and their job had to back off. All right. Also, it comes with an education. These are powerful, powerful tools and weapons, but you have to know how to use them. This is why we have the education that comes with it. All right. So you can have the education and knowledge of how to use them. Also, UNA is going to put them on record for you with the county as well as on record with UNA. Okay, 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 okay. That's the membership package. If you want that, find the link in the bio to get the membership package, or you can find us at unauniversity.com. unauniversity.com. All right, I want y'all to know, welcome, 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 and I love you. We're going to get in this. Thank y'all for joining Curtis and Glenn and DJ and Will and Calm and Grana and Butch. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so let's get into this thing. Whose system is this? Whose system is this? All right. I have so many people who are under this notion. They'll say, this system, they created this system for them, and then they just take advantage of us, and they just do us dirty, and they are just dirty. And okay, I need to halo. We need to get some true knowledge about history and what happened and whose system this really is. All right, so I'm gonna go into a little bit of history today. Also, I want to go into understanding energies. When someone annoys you, what's really going on with that, and how to look at that energy. But let me get into this history. Y'all know I love history. If you don't know I love history, now you know I love me some history. So we're gonna get into some history today, and we're gonna talk about whose system this is and how it was created. Now, let's go back to we'll say what year we want to say 1600s. Let's go back to the 1600s and understand what was going on at that time and what the system was that had been developed. Now, we have been made to believe that the Albions came in here and were running everything. But let's be clear, and I'm going to give you some things to look up so you can go and vet this for yourself, because it's not about what Diva Laree says. I need you to go look it up for yourself, so now you know it's not something you just believe because you heard me say it. All right. Well, go look up the Barbary countries. Barbary countries. What countries were those? We're talking about Tunis, Algiers, Tripoli, Morocco. All of those are African nations with melanated people running them at that time. We're talking about the 1600s. All right. Who was running? Even let's go back to Britain. Everybody wants to think when you hear British, you just think Albions. When even if we go back to King James, the one who is responsible for the King James version of the Bible, well, who was he? That was a melanated guy. That was a melanated man. So he was running Britain. When we're talking about, uh, the British who had come in here, again, everybody thinks Albions, but those were melanated people. Now, they had started to amalgamate, meaning they started to sleep with a lot of Albions. And when I say Albions, for those of y'all who are not familiar with that term, I'm talking about your so-called white people. We don't call them white because they're not white. And we don't call our melanated people black because we full well know what the term black means, and it means dead. Our melanated people are not dead. Okay. So that's among other things, it means dead, but it means other things too. None of them positive or descriptive of melanated people. Any rate, let me get on this now. So we're talking about melanated people who are running this. Let's talk about the creation of what we know of as the counties. What you know of as counties. Count means to count things. That's where the term counties comes from. So what was these counties developed and established for? To count the people and to hold the records of what people had claimed they owned. This is why, till this day, counties, they represent, or the counties are the highest governing agency on the private side. Private side, meaning when it comes to something dealing with land, the county has to get involved. That's why it's always the sheriff that's coming to evict someone from a property. That's a county situation. And so, in understanding that, we got to go back now. Why am I talking about this? Those melanated people that established that counties. All right. When we're talking about even your government here, who were the people in here running? If you're talking about the people who had broken off from Britain, they were still melanated people. This is why when you talk about the Continental Congress, they don't want you to know about that. They telling you George Washington was the first president. He wasn't even Albion. He was melanated. He was amalgamated, but he was a Moor. Even though Moor doesn't mean dark skin, but he was melanated. That's what's not being told to you. So they wanted you to think the Albion has come in here and they're the ones who, oh, they made this system. They didn't make the system. So now we understand, and even the British that are coming in here weren't necessarily melanated. or Albion, but let's go back to this because when we're talking about the United States of America, it was being run by melanated people. Again, there were presidents before George Washington, most of which were melanated. Why are we not talking about that? So now we're understanding now whose system is this? All right, I need to keep going because we've talked about the British that have come in here. We've talked about the Moors who come in. We call them elite Moors because they had knowledge of law and how to wield words and create contracts. All right, so these Moors come in here and they establish counties. Another group of British Moors come in here and they established the United States of, or actually the elite Moors established the United States of America, but there were other Moors in here that were establishing states. So we're talking about the Virginia Company that went back to the 1600s. Go look it up. When you go look up the Virginia Company, that goes back to the 1600s. It's the same company you know of as the state of Virginia today. It's the same company, the Virginia Company. All right. Why is this important, Diva? I just want to know whose system this is. Well, the Albion didn't create it. Even if you go into what the Moors tell you and what history shows is that it was the Moors or those people who were running the United States of America who taught this system to the Albion, taught them how to take over government. They taught them their. Let's tell you what happened, so we can get into it and understand the truth. And y'all go look this up. Go look up Moorish bathhouses. And around the time of 1780s, 1790s, this was around the Revolutionary War. So pay attention. Around the time of the Revolutionary War, this was when the United States had broken off from Britain. They told Britain, listen, we're going to end your rule in this territory. So again, you got these elite Moors who created the counties, and then you got these British Moors had started creating these different states, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and everything along that coast. Those were British colonies, is what we know of them as. All right. So those are two to this day, they two still distinct different governments that have come in here. Then there's the federal government. We're not getting into that. Then there's the city. We're not getting into that. I just want to talk about these two distinct governments that were really being run by melanated people. All right. But then British over here running these colonies have been told by these elite Moors who were running the counties that, hey, you got to get out. This is a hostile takeover, what people are not understanding. Because now they're telling Britain, we're not allowing you to keep taxing the people. That's what this was all about. It was like, hey, you over here, you're doing all these dirty deeds. And if you don't believe me, go and read the Declaration of Independence. It's not that long, about 5 pages, if it's that. Read the Declaration of Independence. That's going to tell you what exactly Britain was doing and why these elite Moors were in here saying, hey, get out. We don't want you in here ruling. Okay. So Britain is being kicked out. And so the war comes about because now Britain is going to lose money because these elite Moors are saying, we're tired of your rule and your tyranny. Okay. So what ends up happening is this war starts, and Britain, pay attention, because I just talked to y'all about the Barbary states and how they got involved in this game. Britain says, okay, well, Morocco, we cool. Me and all the other Barbary states, because y'all got to understand this, and again, go look this up. Tunis, Algiers, Tripoli, Montezuma, Morocco are all Barbary countries, and the Barbary Company is owned by who? Britain. Go look it up. Britain owns the Barbary Company. And they were in bed, if you will, with Morocco since the 1500s. All right. So now Britain and Morocco are in bed, and United States kicks Britain out. These elite Moors kicks Britain out. And now Britain says, all right, Morocco, I tell you what, because Morocco would never trample on any territory that Britain is controlling because they were in bed, they was in cahoots. So Morocco's not going to come in and try to take over a territory, because then Britain would take their money from Morocco. So this is why Morocco wasn't about trying to take over North America until Britain got kicked out. Then it was all right, Morocco, go in there and kick their butts. Britain got their butts kicked, but Morocco still had a little bit of muscle. So Britain says, all right, Morocco, go in there, and I want you to shut down the ports of the United States of America, shut them down. We want you to seize all their ships. Do whatever you want to do. We don't care, because they kicked us out. So I want you to go in there and you kick their butts. Okay, so here come Morocco. Morocco and Tunis and Algiers. These are known as your pirate states. That's what they would sail the seas, Morocco, and they were land stealing thieves is what they were. I'm just telling you the truth and like it is. And so what they would do, they would sail the seas, and then they would seize people's ships. They were pirates. That's why they call Barbary states barbaric. Yeah. So here comes Britain sicking Morocco on the United States of America, seized the ports. And so this was going around. This was the Revolutionary War time. So after 1777, we went into 1778, 79. All right, 1780, 83 on up. This is when that war was going on. And Morocco was seizing the ships, and it was really bringing the United States of America to their knees. I need y'all to understand, these are melanated folks. They melanated. All right. And so there's this war going on between them. Why is that important? Pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. Morocco comes in, and Morocco is telling to the rest of the world, if you want to come into the United States and do business, come into the United States and do business. We need tributes and booty. We need tributes and booty. What is booty? You know, booty. It's like, give me female slaves. That's what booty is. I mean, y'all heard the term, give me some booty. Yeah, it's talking about the female slaves. So what female slaves am I talking about? Booty and tribute was the funds. Either give me some gold or some trinkets, some silver, whatever. Or booty was these Albion females as slaves. This is why I told you to go and look up concubines, Moorish concubines, look up Moorish bath houses. Why? Because now we're talking about these women that the Moors were taking in as slaves, female concubine. You look up the Daughters of American Revolution today, and they're going to tell you it's some prestigious organization for Albion women. No, what it really was they were the slaves to the Moors when they were being brought in, because all of these other nations wanted to do business in U.S. territory. All right. So now we understand in history. It's important to understand history. Why? Because now, what does that have to do, Diva? Because the Moors was getting some booty. Okay. Yeah. From the Albion women. And what they would do, they would start having offspring with these Albion women. These offspring, now these Moors started teaching the offspring how to conduct business via government, how to create a government, how to establish a government. Who taught them? Melanated people taught them. This is in history. This ain't something I'm making up. That's why I'm telling you, go look it up so you can see it for yourself. Treaty of 1776. There is one, the what is it? The Peace and Friendship Treaty around that time. And I'm saying to you that that treaty came about. Remember, George Washington came into play in what is it, 1780? It was 13 years after the United States had started. 1786 or something like that, 1783. 13 years after the United States started, that's when George Washington came in. And between that time, this is when those wars were going on. But when George Washington came into play, those wars stopped because that's when those treaties came in between Morocco, Treaty of Peace and Friendship, Tunis, Algiers, Tripoli, Montezuma, which is the Barbary treaties. Go and look it up. Now, why is that important? Whose system is this? Whose system is this? It's not the Albion system. They didn't start it. They didn't create it. Somebody showed them how to take it over. Who showed them how to take it over? Well, Moroccans and Moors and melanated people showed them how to take it over. So when I get people telling me, oh, this day system and they using it, that's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. When you get people telling you, oh, the Albion, the white man created the English language. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Who created the English language? Go and look up Phoenicians. In that word, you'll hear the word phonetic, dealing with words. Think about the people, these Phoenicians, they come from the tribes of Israel. They can be traced back. Most of them are Israelites. Well, what's the big deal about the Israelites? Well, the Israelites were people who were known to know words or be wordsmiths. Again, knowing how to create contracts, knowing how to create spells. Wordsmiths. You'll find stories about the Israelites. When they came around, people were scared of them. They're like, oh, here come them Israelites. We better, let's go, because they get to talking and stuff start happening. We got to, we got to go. Yeah, Israelites. So let's get into this. Whose system is this? And how does it pertain to you? This is the system of melanated people. This is our system. And how did we get to the point where we are underneath it, where we are being ridden by it instead of being the one in control of it? The way that it happens is because of the dirt that we put out. Well, wait a minute, Devil. I wasn't here. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I'm going to tell y'all again and again, because I know some of y'all still don't get it. You still don't understand who you are as a spiritual entity. You are your ancestors. You are your ancestors. This is why all this, 400 years of slavery and enslavement, and because our ancestors, your ancestors. Let's make that clear. And this is not their system. This is your system. This is the system of your ancestors. Now, as I told you when it comes to English, that comes from melanated people, your ancestors. When it comes to this system, that comes from melanated people. Some of y'all hate the Bible. Let's understand this. I talked about this last time. That comes from melanated people. I told y'all two stories, that'll let you know if Albions wrote that book, they are crazy. They don't have no sense. They ridiculous. They couldn't have written that book. Book of Revelations or Revelation, Book of Numbers. Look, you read those two books for yourself, and you tell me if an Albion would leave those two books in the Bible if they wrote it. Don't none of these things come from the Albion. None of them. the English language, the system, the Bible, that's all created by melanated people. Well, why is it that melanated people get these tools used against them? Why? Let's understand why. All right. You, as your ancestor, created these things for the purpose of degrading another people. See, I'm going to tell the truth. Somebody going to be mad. That's okay. If you want to be free, you better hear this truth because they say it'll set you free. That's what they say. We're going to find out. When now we're getting into the spiritual side of this game and understanding what the truth is and what the facts are. All right. Spiritually, the universal laws, which is what we talk about all the time. All right. When you create a grave for someone else, you will sleep in it yourself. All right. So go on ahead, throw you a blanket and some pillows in that grave that you dig for somebody else because you're going to be sleeping in it. And that's exactly what has happened. All right. The English language, I'm going to go back to that. Welcome, Queen Pisces. Queen Pisces said, Diva, you going in? You going in tonight? I'm loving it. All right. I'm going deep tonight. Yes. Thank you. Welcome. I don't shy. Welcome the truth. Welcome Earl and Yakan. So let's get into this. When we're talking about this English language and where it came from, Phoenicians, go look that up. Why was it created? Let's understand. The Phoenicians, when you go and research their history, these were sailors. And they lived around the outer edges of, I think it's the Black Sea over there. I can't pull it up right off the top of my head. But they were over there in the area where we know of as Africa and the Middle East, that Gaza Strip area and all around there back over into Africa, that area over there. That's where they were. And they were often kicked out of societies, often, because they were known for Black business practices where they would create these contracts and put people in the contracts, and it was detrimental to them, kind of like a mortgage, like a death pledge. They did those kind of things. These are melanated people. They had a very good grasp and understanding of words and how to use them for their advantage. Let me say this again. They had a very good grasp of words and they knew how to use them for their advantage against other people. These are your ancestors. These are you. Pay attention. So these are the people who created this English language, and they created it knowing that it had a spiritual negative on those who would be speaking it. They created the English language knowing that it would create a spiritual imbalance on those who spoke it. Who did they teach this language to? Well, originally they taught it to the Albion. Remember, for those of you who don't know, and if I got any of my Albion friends watching, I love you. I'm going to tell some facts. So please go look these things up before you knee jerk, because I'm going in on everybody. You're melanated, Albion, woman, man, Jews. I'm going to tell it like it is. All right. So we got our ancestors creating this language and teaching it to these Albions, knowing full well that it's 180 degrees from it being in harmony with you spiritually. They teach it to the Albions because the Albions come from the melanated people. Remember, they are created, they are spliced from the melanated people. These are the facts. And I don't care researcher you go and do. You can look in the Bible. You can go and talk to the Chinese people. You can go and talk to whomever you want to talk to. People who scientists rather, and why tell them when they do their research and what they find that the Albion comes from melanated people. All right. According to my research, they were being spawned in the place that we know of today as Argentina. All right. And so here you got these people being created, and they have been taught this language called English, which is well known to be backwards from harmony or being harmonic with your spiritual essence. Okay. So they teach these people this language and to keep them off balance. Well, why is it that today you got so many melanated people that are tied under the spell of this language? And now we've got to learn how to relearn how to use this English language so that it doesn't keep uh, throwing us off balance. Just like I told you about the word black. Spiritually, that has a meaning. And it has nothing to do with a black power, nothing to do with that. But you want to keep using that word and not recognizing the fact that it has a spiritual effect on you every time you say it out your mouth. Okay. I want to welcome everybody. Kenny, Brian, Leon, thank you. Bujo, Curtis, and I see you all commenting. I'm going to take your comments in a second. Tinker, welcome. Royal, and Henry said, teach. All right, Henry, I'm in it. So we understanding that this English language is a language created by our ancestors, and why we would be the ones who end up in it and so deep in it and being stepped on by it is because we dug the grave. We dug the grave when we were here before. And I get it, y'all don't recognize it because you might just want to say, well, I ain't do it. I ain't had nothing to do it. Because I would, yeah, you if you don't want to take responsibility, then keep getting stepped on. But the minute you stand up and we start to recognize, okay, we did this now. We caused some things. We gotta make amends for the things that we've done as our ancestors. All right. Now, let's get into other things. We talked about the English language, talked about the Bible. All right. This Bible created by, and let me rephrase it because the scriptures is one thing. The scriptures were written by women. Look up Sibyls and Oracles. Look it up before you come at me and knee jerking. Sibyls and Oracles. And those scriptures were around long before the Bible came about. But the Bible comes about in 326 AD. Once again, this Bible is a contract. It is an enchanted contract. Now, when it was originally created, it was created for the purpose of subjugating the woman, the melanated woman in particular. All religions are patriarchal. All religions are patriarchal. And their purpose is to subjugate the woman. So here you got this Bible created by a melanated person or people, whereby the woman has been written out of her own scriptures. And who is the one that really suffers the most from not knowing the Bible? Well, melanated people. Yeah, melanated people who are the ones who created it originally. That's our enchanted contract. That Bible, it's a contract. It's enchanted, meaning it's got powers that people are not aware of. Who created that? Melanated folks, not the Albion. All right, let's get into this system. Once again, we talked about how this system came about. It was going before even the Moors came into the land, the British Moors came into the land. Yeah, it was before that. All right. But the system was taught to the Albion by whom? Melanated people. Moors, these elite Moors that was running the United States of America. That's who taught it to them. It's not their system. It's just a system that we created to keep other people down. And so because we, as our ancestors, did these things, we dug graves for other people, trying to keep them down and be over them and be in control of them. And then we, as the descendants, fall victim to this system that was created by our ancestors. I understand. Some of y'all saying, I wasn't here. I ain't had it. You was here. You're going to get in touch with who you are as a spiritual entity. Remember who you are as a spiritual entity. You want to get up out of this mess? Remember who you are and start walking like the God that you are. So before you start getting upset with these people and say, oh, this day system and they trying to do this and they trying to, don't walk like a victim, because you can't be a victim and a God at the same time. Which one are you? This is not their system. This was our system. Because of the energies that we put out at another time, we have to live in this grave. But the grave is, we're coming up out of it now because we're remembering who we are. And we're going to stop being angry and upset and trying to blame everybody else and take back our power. And you don't have to do it with anger. You don't have to do it with any kind of disdain. None of that. Just remember who you are and then be willing to make amends for the things that we did, our ancestors did. Our ancestors tried to throw a whole group of people off spiritually. For those of you who don't know, the original slaves were Albions. The original slaves were Albions. They were brought here into this country as children slaves. And I just told you about the Albion women who were brought as slaves for concubine for the Moors. Those are the offspring who are now running this government. Those are your children running this government, melanated folks. Those are your children. So what you want to start to recognize is, how did we get here? How did we get into this mess? And once we're willing to recognize the truth about history, then we're willing to recognize the truth about universal law and how it works. Then we can come up out of this mess. And we don't have to fight with nobody. There don't have to be no revolution. You don't have to have no bullets, no knives. You don't have to do none of that. Just recognize who you are. Be willing to accept the fact that our ancestors did some stuff that we need to clean up. And once we're willing to do that, you're going to find your way in abundance so fast, your head will spin. Once you're willing to recognize who you are as a spiritual entity, what our ancestors did, what we need to do to come out of it and right this on a universal level, you're going to be in abundance so fast, your head is going to spin. So I'm going to get out of here. I want y'all to know I really do appreciate you. I hope you got some information from this. What person doesn't understand what a covenant is? Covenant makes so much sense. Who was that said that? Yakan says that person doesn't understand what a covenant is. Tell me what person that is that doesn't understand what a covenant is. Bujo says, okay, I'm not angry with them anymore. I just want you to know what's going on. All right. When you know the truth, the fact about history, then you're going to be able to really take back your power. Okay. Because we don't have, when you're angry with these people, you're giving away your power. You don't have to be angry. All right. Don't give away your power. We're coming back into it. You're coming back into abundance. You're going to get it back. Make sure that you're in your right mind so you can keep it. That's what we're talking about. Henry says, I can't see your face on TikTok. Zoom out, Henry. Curtis says thanks. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you all for following. Thank you for liking. Bujo says they were grafted from us. Facts. Yes, sir. Thank you, Bujo. Paris and Curtis, thank you for joining. Tinker, thank you for joining. Phoenix says Phoenicians said I don't. Yeah, phonetics. Y'all look it up. Phonics meaning speech. Henry, hello Henry. Let me see. The Canaanites, Moors, aka Phoenicians. Thank you, because once again I tell you those Phoenicians come from that Israelites tribe. They're traced back to there. We made everything. Curtis says. The truth says wisdom is she. Thank you so much. The truth. Royal says yes, we did wrong first. We did. And when we start recognizing that, then we can clean that up. We actually go into that in the university, how to clean up your spiritual baggage. We got a lot of baggage to clean up. Henry A. from Brooklyn says, hi there, my sister. Hey there, my brother. Queen Pisces says, you the truth, Diva Laree. I'm just telling the truth. I'm speaking the truth. And I want y'all to know it too. So, Yakan, I hope I know I'm probably not saying that right, but you threw me a curve. It came from us. You're correct. Thank you, Yakan. If I'm pronouncing that incorrect, please forgive me. Bujo says that makes so much sense. User says the Treaty of Paris and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Yes, 1787. Thank you. Look those up. Listen, these documents are not that long. Look them up and read them for yourself so that you can be in the know and knowledge. Because one of the problems is, even when we're talking about the Bible, which is an enchanted contract, the Declaration of Independence, the what is the Constitution? Read those documents. They're not that long. All right, go read them. Bujo says, I thought it was the money. Let's see. But I want to thank you all. Elmore, one of my students in the house. Welcome, brother. I'm going to see you in class. We got a great class. Bujo, thank you for the love, the roses. Thank you so much. All right, Charles, does anybody have any other questions before I get out of here? I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to go into class. Does anybody have any questions before I get out of here? I'm ready to go into class. Hello, all the God. Welcome. The truth. Let's see, Felipe. Bujo, I'm laughing at Bujo. So I'm not mad at them anymore. Listen, all right, I'm going to get out of here. But I need y'all to know this. All right. We are walking in a new time. This is your opportunity to regain your power. All right. You will be in abundance. Knowing this information, you will be in abundance if you're not already there now. The thing is to remember who you are. All right. Remember the God you are. And you got to stop walking in anger, because then you're a victim. You can't be a God and a victim at the same time. Which one are you? Choose. Either you're a slave or you're sovereign. Either you're a slave or you're a God. Either you're a victim or you're God. Which one is it? Choose. All right. But when you decide to be the God and you start to recognize who you are, again, I say abundance will find you so fast that your head will spin. I want y'all to know I love you. All right. I'm going to be back Saturday. I hope to have a nice long session. I want y'all to, this time, somebody call me so we can have this on air conversation. I've been having some wonderful with you guys on our consultation. If you want a consultation, go ahead and find the link in the bio. If you want a membership package, go ahead and find the link in the bio. All right. If you want to enroll for the UNA University, find the link in the bio. Let's get you in here. Let's get you this knowledge and this information. Let's start walking like the guys that we are. I want you to know. I love you. I love you. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Bye. Yeah.
UNA University for me. UNA.